So today, because I don't have much time, what you're going to get from me is I'm going to look at life advice, different posts on Twitter, X, and I'm going to tell you directly what I think about them. Most of them, I don't know. I have not read them, so you're going to see my in the moment reaction, but also my evaluation. Some of it is going to be good advice and some of it not so good. So let's just jump directly into it. This person, Sahil Bloom, says a 16-year-old asked me for life advice this week. My answer: don't stress over the things the world tells you to stress about. College, major, first job, etc. Okay, try to be curious, be valuable, and surround yourself with great people. This is pretty general advice because, and also it's not really specific enough. For example, don't stress yourself with what the world is telling you. Okay, I get it. Don't think about the college. Okay, so what should I do? What should I concern myself with, right? Because stress is more like concern, right? What should I care about? Because the things that you care about are the things that you are going to be stressed with. You don't really, you cannot really stress yourself with something that you don't really care for. So eventually you have to care for something. So then the question is, okay, if it's not college, first job, major, whatever, okay, I get it. But then what should I concern myself with? And he says, like, be curious. Okay, I am curious and I'm like, you see, this advice is very general. Like, be curious about art, and what do I do with that curiosity, and what should I care about eventually, what should I stress myself with? Like, it's just too general. Be valuable. I agree with this one. This one applies in most cases. Yes, be valuable, but be valuable actually means become valuable. And if I would try to give sense to this advice, would be like this: be curious, meaning explore, go learn to the point where you become valuable, and also surround yourself with great people. Yes, but that's not always going to be an option. I think that the first two, be curious and become valuable, really are absent of really who is around you, because at that stage in life you cannot afford really to choose to surround yourself with great people. That happens after some time, when you have already build yourself, you are valuable, people want you, people want things from you, you are valuable to society, and therefore you have the opportunity to select, to choose who are the people that you are around. So this advice is good, but it's kind of like, I don't know. Next one, same person, let's give him one more chance. Underrated life advice: it's perfectly okay to live a life that looks confusing to others. Yes, I agree. And that the reason why I think this is actually good advice is because if you really achieve great things, you are going to go where no one has gone before, and therefore to the people that you leave behind, they are going to think, what is this person doing? Like, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. This is crazy, right? So absolutely be comfortable with your life being confusing, looking confusing to others. Brilliant. Wake up early, do hard things, eat real food, go on long walks, obsess over one thing, read all books, never gossip, be loved by a few. Okay. Most of it is actually very good. Um, it's also plain advice, but I'm not sure about read all books. There is a an argument to be made in there that, well, I'm sure many principles that have survived, you know, hundreds of years, yes, maybe, yes, but some things, like, the world has changed so much and is changing so rapidly that, oh, it's like old books are only if you have the time. Let me see. I will go quickly because this one was good. Underrated life advice: don't dig the well when you're thirsty. Yeah, yeah, I know this one. It's obviously like you have to prepare in advance. Yes, yes. Okay, good advice, but also known. Let's pick from someone else. Okay, we have a lot. Then go. Tell me something interesting. People in I guess in their 40s and above, what are the life tips, advice that you will give for the people in their 30s? Okay, let me answer to this one. What would I give to my the best advice that is related to time passing and you getting older is you don't have enough time. When you go about your day and you're young and all of this, you forget about the fact that you don't have enough time to build what you want to build. You don't have. And that's why you tend to waste time. You waste time with fantasies and you waste time with just feeling good about distant potential futures, like, oh yeah, I'm going to achieve this and that, and you see yourself, and in reality you're just in your head. You didn't go anywhere, you didn't do anything, and you don't have enough time. I guess this would be what I would tell to myself, like, bro, you don't have enough time. Like, next, I don't know this one. Next, underrated life advice. Great. Stop arguing with reality. Yes, this one, I love this advice. I'm very familiar with this. I wish more people would actually understand that fighting reality is your it's very frustrating, it's very intensive, it's very taxing, and you are just going against reality, against truth, against what it is. That is always why some people really never get anywhere. It's because they're not really working with reality. They haven't identified, okay, evolution and life and however you want to call it, God wants the whole system to succeed, right? So therefore, for me to be successful inside the system in life, I have to contribute to the higher system. So that means don't be selfish. I don't have to just serve myself, but serve the purpose of life, right? Evolution, progress, humanity. At that level, if you can contribute, yes, you are going to be good. But some people, unfortunately most people, they fight that. Either they just have learned the wrong things, and either they are selfish, they are just working for themselves, and like they think that that's success, or they're just going against the the natural flow of life, that invisible stream where things are going, but some people really don't really have eyes or mind to see that, and they're going in the opposite direction, and they're fighting an uphill battle, and they're always going to be unhappy with their life. And that's because they're trying to force reality to bend their wish instead of them understanding what reality wants. And yeah, I think it's very good advice, but most people really don't get this one. Start where you are, not where you wish you were. Yeah, the same principle. Like, don't expect reality to to satisfy your needs, your expectations, but make sure that you find a way that you can serve reality, that you can contribute to the greater whole, and then you're going to be fine. And also a lot more happy, because it's pure hell, it's pure pain when you just try to force things and try to go in the wrong direction. It just never works. The faster you face the facts, the faster you can change them. Yes. But the problem is that most people these days don't really want to face truth. They don't want to face the facts. And what they call facts, what they call truth, is just their own story, their own imagination. So the advice is good, but the implementation of this is not really straightforward. Like, picture this: 10 people might read the same advice, and most of them will not really get it. But all of them, they will think they got it. That's really the you really the danger, because everyone thinks they are good, everyone thinks they are smart, everyone thinks about themselves that they are, they're the right one, they're the righteous one, they're doing the right thing, all of that, right? But in reality, if you consider from a higher perspective, you can see, well, some individuals are closer to truth and some individuals are kind of further. But in their own perspective, if you zoom in and if you just go into their head, everyone thinks that they're doing well, they have the truth, they are the smartest, and like, not the smartest, because people these days they have learned this kind of like fake humbleness, like, oh, I'm not very smart, it's fake humbleness, right? But in reality, in their own forum, in their actions, they act like they know, but in reality, most of them, they don't. So yeah, good advice, but who to apply it, that's the point. Next one, still underrated, right? Life advice, I guess this is the title that goes well on Twitter these days, right? Be difficult to offend. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah. The thinner your skin, the easier you are to control. Yes, that is very true. People and this is the very definition of people pushing your buttons. If people can push your buttons easily, then you are easy to control. And there are plenty of people in there who, like in life in general, who don't really want to, like they prefer to get control over other people instead of just like contribution. It's it's always, you're going to observe this in reality. Always some people choose the right way, like sometimes it's harder, they prefer to do the hard thing even if it's harder, and some people choose the easy way, they prefer to lie, to manipulate, to, like all of this. But at the like a design level, life is perfectly designed, because this is how you test the individuals. This is how you know who's good and who is not. If you give perfect options for everyone to cheat, to fake, to take the easy way route, and the ones that don't and prefer to do the hard thing, those are the good ones. But again, um, too complex for this video. Next one, another underrated advice: own fewer things. Yes, this one is brilliant, because the more things you own, they own you. When you have one car, you have one car to repair. If you have 10 cars, you have 10 cars to repair. And you might say, yeah, but if you have 10 cars, you're rich. So therefore, yeah, but like that complexity quickly adds up. If you have 10 cars, 5 houses, I don't know how many companies, I don't know how many projects, I don't know how many things, and like different actions and things to do, you're just one person. So yeah, owning fewer things, because otherwise you will be owned by them. And these days you can see that a lot of people who fell into this trap of like luxury and just like flashing out, like just showing themselves like, oh my god, I'm rich, I have so many cars, I have this. In reality, they're owned by their possessions, because they are a slave to their image, right? Like they would not be anything without that. Like if you take one of these people and you strip away the cars and the luxury and all of that, you're going to see that as a person, they don't have much, if anything. So therefore, they are owned by their possessions. They would be nothing without their possessions. And that's this advice is very good, because it says own fewer things also means be humble, be more minimalistic, be more like live a more simple life, which is a good advice in general on many other fronts, not just owning things. And they give an explanation: every item you buy is an item you manage. That's exactly what I said. Physically or mentally correct. Clutter isn't just in the closet, it lives in your head. Absolutely true. When you lessen the load, you free your attention for what matters. Brilliant. Less stuff equals less stress, period. Yes, absolutely. Let's read one more time from the same person, Blake Burge. Um, Learn to enjoy your own company. Yes, I agree with this one. But first, in order for that, you have to be a pleasant person. Like you have to have fun by yourself. You have to naturally be a fun, like a happy person, and you have to, this connects with the previous advice that we discussed about, like don't go against reality. Well, people who go against reality, they're always unhappy. They're always in hell. They're always in turmoil, in some sort of pain, and that also means that they're not really happy by themselves. They cannot really be by themselves and just like find happiness, because they have a lot of turmoil inside. So it's good to learn to enjoy your own company, but in order for you to learn that, you have to become a person that you would enjoy being around. And that's more difficult than just learning how to enjoy your own company. What if your company is not that enjoyable? Like, some people say, I don't know who I have become. I don't like myself anymore. That's what I mean. It's like sometimes you go through life, through transition, through different periods, and things change and you change. And one point you might realize, if enough changes have happened without your realization, you will see that you no longer enjoy your company. You no longer like the person you became. So yeah, in that position, it would be pretty hard to enjoy your company, right? If you can't stand being alone, you'll settle for bad people and worse choices. Absolutely true. Most people, they seek the comfort of other people, but because they cannot be by themselves. They don't like themselves. They are in constant hell and constant rumination, constant war with themselves and reality in general, and therefore they always try to seek the comfort of other people. That's why you see people, they try to get their happiness externally from other people, from someone else, not realizing that, well, happiness, like, in a relationship, in any kind of relationship, I mean, even in partnership, if there are two people, right, there, let's say two business partners, if you are one of the party and then you have a partner, well, you are 50% of that relationship. Well, for the relationship to be good, obviously you have to take care of your 50% of what you bring. You have to bring good things to the relationship, and hopefully the other person also has to bring good things to the relationship, and there you go. Like, you have a good relationship because it's a good relationship, like two parties, nice parties coming together, all good, right? But the problem here is that wait, where was I? Give me a second. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. If you can stand being alone with bad people, yes, but the problem in there is that if you cannot really be with yourself, then you are going to seek the comfort of others, and you are going to go for the first people, the first individuals that are accessible. Those are usually the worst, right? Because good people don't give themselves easily. They know their value and they don't give themselves easily. But people who, like people who give themselves easily, they know that, they're kind of desperate, in desperate mode. So that's what happens. But in this situation, if you are alone and you feel lonely and you're not feeling good with yourself, and then you go out to seek the comfort of other people, which is, it's a coping mechanism, usually what you are going to get is you are going to get the worst individuals, right? If you're a man, for example, what kind of women you are going to have access to the fastest in order to relieve that pain? Let's say that you're lonely and you just want to seek the comfort of other women. The first women that will respond to you are usually the worst, the sleaziest, the most narcissistic, the most, like, basically the most dangerous people will be the first that they are going to become available to you. However, in order for you to, like, the problem here is the following: if you are lonely, you will have to resist the temptation of reaching or accepting the company of the first people that you encounter, because usually those are the worst. And people fall into this problem. It's because of loneliness. They are lonely and they cannot cope with the feeling, and they cannot really have the patience necessary to build meaningful relationships. So therefore they settle for the worst individuals. This happens everywhere, both for men and for women. So therefore this advice is pretty good. Solitude builds strength. I agree. I absolutely agree. And the reason solitude builds strength, it's because when you're by yourself, you reflect, you take in account, you register your past actions, you register what's going on in your life. You might make new connections, you might understand and see your life from different perspective, and you might just, make some changes, positive changes in your life. But that happens only when you have that space to be by yourself, to be in solitude. And so many people, they just hate to be in solitude because they don't want to realize the truth. They don't want to see the truth. They always try to distract themselves. They distract themselves with cigarettes, alcohol, all sorts of things, parties, whatever, just not to see the truth of their life. Because the moment when you strip away all of that, all the distractions, and you put a person in the room, all, white walls, and there is nothing else to do, the mind starts to spin. But the mind starts now to kind of like evaluate, where am I, what's going on, what's the situation. They think about their life, and there is nothing to distract them from that truth, from that reality downloading. And yeah, that's the thing. Nobody put themselves or isolate themselves intentionally. So few people do it. It's exactly because of that, because it's painful, because you might realize what you actually have to change in your life, and nobody wants to do it. Everyone prefers the cheap way, the easy way, the distraction, the cheap satisfaction, anything that can give you some dopamine fast and quick with no work, no effort, nothing. And that's why we live in a society where things are getting worse and worse. Because, a society eventually, it's made by individuals, and if most individuals never want to face themselves, you have a society that eventually will collapse. Next, advice I'd give younger self: don't aim for happiness, peace, or success. Wait, don't aim for happiness, peace, or success. Okay, let me see where this is going. Aim for aliveness. Yeah, I like this one. Make decisions based on what makes you feel the most alive behind your eyes. Okay. Uh, okay, so I will just ignore the part with behind your eyes because that's a bit strange for me, like the expression. But aim for aliveness. This is one of those advice that could easily go wrong. It's kind of true. It is true. Like, aim to feel alive, do things that make you alive. Yes, no, not a problem. But oh my God, how many people could get this in the wrong way? Aliveness. What if someone says, like, you know what? I feel alive when I go to parties and I drink and I am with my best buddies, my friends that I'm not going to even speak to in like 5 years from now, but I feel alive. Like, this advice, be careful with it, because, okay, let me rephrase the advice in a way that would actually be good. Like, it doesn't go easily wrong. Aim for aliveness. Yes, aim for aliveness that comes from activities that make you better. Pretty good. Let me explain. If your aliveness comes from parties and drinking and wasting time, or just joking stupidly with your friends every day and you're not building anything, that is not making you better. It makes you feel good in the moment, but it doesn't make you better in the future. Okay, what's the alternative? Okay, so the most easy: if you go to the gym, or you start fitness, or you start sports, and you are consistent, that makes you literally better. So as you do, let's say, running, and you feel alive, that aliveness comes from something that makes you better, and therefore the advice becomes good. But you see, depends on. This is the problem, by the way. I'm going to tell you this with life advice. Different people take the same advice in different ways, obviously, because we have perspectives, we have our own life experience, and we look at the same thing and see different things, right? That's why advice in general, it's not really, how can I say, it's not really useful. It's useful for some and pretty much unuseful, pretty much like a validation to do stupid things for others. Same advice, like literally word by word, text by text, same. Two people read it, one goes to the gym, the other one goes and, I don't know, gets drunk. That's one of the things that when you hear advice, like, you have to have that common sense, you have to have that wisdom in you to understand what it means. Like, well, not easy. That's why we're doing this today. Corporate Machiavelli telling me life advice: do not rack up a high number of sexual partners and lose your pair bonding capacity, particularly if you are a female. Yes, that's known. Do not have children if you are too poor to support them. I agree. Pretty good advice, yes, but it's also known. Like this is kind of like known and nobody really cares about it, but yeah. Let me see. Blake Burge is back. Underrated life advice, of course. I think I just read this one, but whatever. Okay, I think you repeated. Like Blake, I'm not going to read it again. Let's just scroll. Elon Musk advice to young people. Elon Musk, that's it. Try to learn as much as possible and enjoy life. But working is also part of enjoying life. Oh, this is bigger. One thing is to err. What was this on the side? Okay, err on the side of optimism, to be optimistic about the future. I think it's better to err. Okay, like too long for this other time. Elon, you make money, send us to the moon, and next. My obvious advice to young people is to find people who have achieved the things you want to achieve. Terrible advice. Terrible advice. Well, okay, it sounds good advice and it is good advice, but it's also bad advice. Let me explain. It's good advice because it's kind of obvious. Well, people that have achieved the things that you want, it's, you know, the logic goes like, well, more chances that if I listen to them, they are going to help me to get to where I want because they already got it. This logic is like even an ant would think about. This is not like, oh my God, great advice. It's pretty super basic. However, this is also bad advice, and here is why. You can find, so there are two reasons. First of all, the people who have achieved what you want, they have achieved it in their own way, and it doesn't necessarily mean that if you follow by the book, by their own recipe, you are going to get what they got. It doesn't mean this way because you are a different person than they, and in many different situations you are going to see that there are invisible variables that contribute to the final result, that even if you follow whatever they did, eventually you somehow found yourself somewhere else. It happens. And why this is bad advice is because even people who have not achieved what you actually want, you can really learn from them things that will be useful, because eventually you are building your own Lego. You're building your own Lego. You're not building someone else's Lego. So therefore, it's kind of like you can follow advice from people who have achieved the things that you want to achieve, more like understanding the direction, like having like a high level perspective. But eventually, because you're going to build your own Lego, you still have to piece things together from different places. Maybe you reflect, maybe you read, maybe you listen to a podcast, maybe you have a dream, who knows? And you have a discussion with your friend, and eventually you piece things together, your pieces of the puzzle, and eventually you become successful with what you want, because your success is going to be only yours. You cannot really get your success from someone else, even if they have achieved it. So this, not good advice. Oh, Sahil is back. Some of the best advice I've received. Sahil, if you fail on this one, I'm not going to read from you because you rated this the best. So if it's not really the best, we part ways. So in your 20s and 30s, do a few things that you'll be excited to tell your kids about someday. Okay. Go on adventure, train for some challenging event, get your hands dirty as on a crazy project, whatever. Create stories worth telling. It's good advice. It's not really the best. It's far from the best, but it's good advice because creating stories worth telling, it's actually how you live a good life. You live a good life by creating good memories. So that part is actually true. And you know, I like, for example, I don't know who said this, but it's very common. Life is a daring adventure or nothing at all. I totally agree. Like, if you're not really challenging yourself to do something hard, you're not living. Like, you're not alive. You know, the previous advice says, like, aim for aliveness. You're not you're not aiming for aliveness if you're not challenging yourself, if you're not doing something hard, if you're not aiming to become better, if you're not aiming to contribute back to society, to the world, to universe, if you're not aiming to be better, you're wasting your life. All right, next. Blake, for now we take a break, man. Let me see. Okay. Ooh, this one got me. Married man. What's the best? Okay, I'm not married, so then it's not for me. Next one. Sometimes I feel like everyone learns exactly the same lessons in life, but we all learn in a different orders. We learn them in different orders and on different level of seriousness, and that's actually why advice giving or self-help content can be so messed up even when there is good intentions. Well, yes, but the self-help is not really messed up. It's not really the advice that is messed up. It's the viewer, the person who actually gets, like, reads that aim for aliveness and they go and get drunk. That's, it's not the device that's bad, it's the person who doesn't really have the mind to process that properly. So yeah, it's the responsibilities with you, the one who is aiming or looking or evaluating the advice. Most advice is actually good, most of it is actually good. The problem, by the way, what's one way to qualify what's good advice and what's bad advice? Good advice has less ways to be misinterpreted and be used for bad. Think about it. Good advice means that there are going to be fewer people that will misinterpret that advice and just do bad things that will ruin their lives further while feeling justified, like, look, I'm following the advice, I'm aiming for aliveness, right? Good advice, I think, clears that. It's like so precise. I think it's so down to the core and leaves no interpretation, such that most people looking at it, they will get it. They will really get to the core of the idea without any false positives. Let me see. Good advice. Okay. Still looking for good advice. Random life advice. Come on, man. Uncommon advice. This is uncommon, means like it's not so common. I love uncommon advice, but I hope it's good. If you don't know what to pursue in life right now, period, pursue yourself. Pursue becoming the healthiest, happiest, most healed, most present, most confident version of yourself. Then the right path will reveal itself. We even have a name here, Neuro Notes. I think that's a page or something, but okay, let's look at it. If you don't know what to pursue in life right now, pursue yourself. Great advice, but nobody really knows what the hell this means. Like, what do you mean by pursue yourself? Like, what are we talking about? Pursue yourself. Like, huh? Okay, so let me help to make this advice better, because it's not bad. It's actually good. Pursue yourself is good, but it needs a lot of interpretation. Remember, we spoke about what's good advice. This is kind of good advice, but it's not really specific enough to be good advice. So let's make it better. What it means to pursue yourself. Pursue yourself first would mean that you get to know yourself and you get to accept yourself. And then you accept some parts of yourself, and then you decide to change some parts of yourself to improve them, and you know exactly where to cut and where not to cut, right? From your personality, from who you are as a person, there are some things that you should double down on and literally lean in, embrace, accept, and maximize in yourself. And there are some parts that you should go like, well, that's not good. I need to change that, right? But knowing the difference, what are the parts that you should keep about yourself and what are the ones that you shouldn't, yeah, that is where you need some, this is where usually, a life coach, a mentor, someone like someone with more experience might be of guidance. I'm not saying it's impossible. To be honest, I will tell you this. If you spend months and years, and you become the person that really reflects deeply about life and yourself, and you put in that time, not like wasting it with what most people waste their time, you will be able to pursue yourself, to find yourself, to accept all of that, and know the difference with what do I want to double down on, and what are my strengths and what are my weaknesses, what I want to improve. All of that is possible, but working with someone like a coach, like myself, or someone else just saves that time. It makes it shorter. It might take you like 5 years, 10 years, or it might take you, 1 year to do that assisted or guided. So that's always a possibility. If you want to work with me, you can just like message me or something like that. Find me on Twitter or like on YouTube. You cannot find me on Fiverr for now because Fiverr recently have deactivated my account because I moved countries and I changed the country and I wanted to update my taxation, but the country that I'm in is not really there in the list, and I send them a support, and then I'm waiting, and in the meantime, my account is suspended. But if you want to work with me, you definitely have ways to find me. Don't worry about that. Let me see what's next. The best life. Oh my God. When I hear the best life advice, I'm like, oh, let it be good. The best life advice I've heard in a while. Make your 8-year-old self proud doing things your 80-year-old self won't regret. Wait. I need to process this one. Make your 8-year-old self proud. Proud? Like an 8-year-old proud? Like doing things your 80-year-old self won't regret. Okay, so oof, I think I'm not intelligent enough to understand this one because I'm not sure exactly how I would make my 8-year-old self, like obviously I'm not 8. Yeah, I don't know. I'm skipping this one. It sounds good. It sounds good. It's one of those advice that sounds really good, but it's kind of like too cliche. I don't know. That's my vibe here. Let's switch gears in here. This one. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Yes, I can even tell you who said this. I think it's Tony Robbins. And agreed, yes, it depends on the quality of your thoughts. The way you think about things dictates what you see. And the way you see reality, that's your experience. Like if you constantly, for example, if you constantly complain about things, you say negative things, your perception is affected by, like, it's dictated, like literally you dictate reality with the words that you use. If you use negative words, you always complain, you always have something negative to say, you always have bad things to say, well, that is when you're generating your reality. Like it's almost like you're generating what you see ahead, and therefore, you just continue like this. Some people continue like this months and years and decades, and their entire life is a life of pain, of complaint, of like things not going well. And it's because they never realize this. It's what you say and what you think dictates how you feel, and that's your whole experience. If you basically construct a reality where everyone is against you, you are the victim, everyone wants to to do bad things to you and all of that, that's the reality that you live in. We construct our reality with the words that we use, and most people never realize this. So the quality of your thoughts dictate your reality and your life experience. How you experience life on a daily basis, how do you feel? Correct. Therefore, guard accordingly and take care that you entertain no notions unsuitable to virtue and reasonable nature. That's a lot of it's a lot of pompous words just to say don't think bad things. Don't say bad things. Do not engage, do not entertain negativity. Don't allow negativity, because if you allow negativity, you build a negative reality, and therefore in that negative reality you feel justified to you're in constant pain, but you don't realize that it's the pain that you have generated for yourself. You have built the prison around you, and now you feel trapped. Yes, but that is self-generated, and again, I wish more people would know this. Let me see. Okay, we take like a really, this one is like the most hype advice that I can see today. Life is short. Yes. Travel more. Okay. Hug your family. Yes. Stop overthinking. Ah, not really. Depends. Depends, because overthinking sometimes takes the form of you really thinking about all your life, which most people should do. I would say that people don't think enough. And overthinking in this situation is just like you are thinking too much about dumb shit. Yes, in that case, if you think about dumb shit, that is overthinking, don't do it. But when it's about planning your life, when it's about looking ahead, understanding yourself, understanding life in general, do overthink. Not enough people think enough. That's why we live in a society of stupids. Let go of the past. Yeah, I can see in some ways how that would not be a good idea. For example, if things happen to you in the past and you have some experiences that although were painful and you have got some painful lessons, don't let go of the lessons from the past. So it's not like really let go of the past. Like whatever happened, happened. Like, yeah, you can let go of the grudge, of the pain, of the whatever, resentment. Yes, let go of negativity towards something or someone in the past. But do not let go of the lessons that you got from the past, because then you're going to repeat the same mistakes again. So you see how good advice can go horribly wrong, but thanks to me that I'm here, I'm protecting you from bad advice. So today I'm doing like a holy job in here. Next, eat healthier foods. Healthier foods. If you are always going to McDonald's, maybe KFC would be healthier. Not good. Stop procrastinating. Okay, this it's funny, but it's just like not good advice at all. Challenge yourself daily. Yes. Tell people you love them. No. And I will tell you why this is bad advice, because it basically teaches you tell everyone, people, right? Tell everyone you love them, right? Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. If you say people, if you say I love you to everyone, then your I love you has no value to someone like me. If I when I hear people who say I love you easily, I'm like, I know that when you tell it to me, it has no value. So man, this is stupid advice. Not just bad advice, it's just stupid advice. But I'm glad that we got something like this, because otherwise, how the hell we would end this video if all the advice would be good? We have to find something to also, makes us feel more alive. Hmm? Mm. Invest in new experiences. Yes, this one is pretty good. Invest in new experiences, because in the process of you experiencing new things, your brain, your mind expands, and that's not a small thing. This one is actually very good. I don't know how it got in there, but it's actually very good advice. Expanding yourself through experience is really what helps you to grow, right? If you always do the same things, you never move countries, you never try different things, you never try something challenging. We spoke about this. You keep yourself very small. Like you're not really developing yourself. You're not really actualizing yourself, growing yourself. You're just like you're the same person, and the problem with that is that reality moves, reality develops, and if you stay the same, you're actually going backwards. So invest in new experiences, absolutely true. Are we still recording? Yes, we are. Let go of negative thoughts. Good advice, but how do you do it? It's like letting go of negative thoughts. I feel like an entire planet would love to know how the hell do you do that, and not just how you let go of negative thoughts right now in the moment, nothing, but how do you let go of negativity? Because even when you let go of negative thoughts in the moment, they come back 5 minutes, 1 hour later, 2 days later, they come back. So then that negativity is the problem. The fact that the negativity, even if you drop it right now, you meditate, you find the place, oh my God, I'm good, I'm positive, I'm all of that, eventually comes back to you. That, you have to let go of that. But how do you do it? It's a $1 billion, multi-billion-dollar question. Manage your time effectively. Yes, I would say value yourself, but whatever. Okay, can we still go? I still have energy. Oh, I started, you know what's funny? I started this video kind of like down and like, no, let's see what we find and all of that. But reading this and connecting and sharing, you know, my ideas, I all of a sudden I feel alive. And you see, somehow that advice, aim for aliveness, connects with me. This is what makes me alive. It makes me alive to read or think or listen to interesting ideas and think and express myself and create this value for whoever will consume it, and that makes me happy. So we will continue. Okay, I don't know what this is, but it has 882 likes. Get what you want. Is that advice? That's it. Son is funny. Get what you want. That's it. That's the only advice you need. Really? Okay, I will stop here. So let me see what I have. Get what you want. I'm sorry, but this is who 2024? Maybe that's why. Like this is in the past, too far. Get what you want. That's the only advice you need. Man, what do I do with this one? Get what you want. This is, yeah, it's that advice that could go horribly wrong for so many people that would just find a license to do the worst things because I get what I want. That's it. Like I'm following my best life. This is the best advice. Get what you want. That's it. You don't need any other advice. Terrible, terrible. I don't know, Louis, King of Louis, whatever. I'm sorry, man, but that's just terrible. But let's do it justice. Maybe it's going to be clarified later. So I'm going to finish the whole thing. Get what you want. What? You're just going to repeat it? Like, isn't that one time enough? Okay, get what you want. Your life will play out just fine. Achieve, accomplish, win, no matter what. This is terrible advice because it ends with no matter what. No matter what? Like, really? No matter what? Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, today, not just that we found good advice, we found funny advice, we found bad advice, but we found the most idiotic advice. It's this one because it ends with achieve, accomplish, win, no matter what. No matter what, really? Ooh, let me see. The person has a luxurious car as a profile picture. That makes a lot of sense. I think this is maybe like a 17-year-old at most. If this person has more than 17 years, they are in trouble. They're like really in trouble. Okay, so let me do justice, not just to say bad things about this and, you know, like, man, what's the problem with this? Okay, first, I said, get what you want. It's so general and it's not enough. Like you have to understand what you want. That's one. You have to make distinctions between from the things that you want, which ones are more virtuous and which ones are more vicious or like bad, or they would create a collapse in, you know, in reality, in value, in contribution. Get what you want is terrible advice because you have to first understand what you want and understand those distinctions, because just I want this, like what is that? I want to rob a bank, like okay, get that, like go get the money, like go rob a bank, like that's just like stupid. And the advice ends with accomplish, win, no matter what. This is childish advice, and most probably the person is really not mature, because no matter what, it's not like this. I do understand that, you know, that we live in this culture where some people might look at this advice and go like, oh yeah, of course, I'll achieve no matter what. But that's just like so mindless, so limited, like such baby mind advice. Because let me say, no matter what. Okay, it's stupid because there are consequences. For actions, there are consequences. And if you don't consider the consequences, no matter what, well, you might realize that you win this little thing that you're focused. I want to get this no matter what, but then you pay, I don't know, you pay for the next decades, for your entire life. You ruin your life just because you wanted to achieve something. You have to get that, and no matter what. The most idiotic advice that I've seen today And ladies and gentlemen, because we are approaching 50 minutes, close to 1 hour, I will end it here. Great advice, terrible advice, absolutely idiotic advice, you all find it. But what really matters is take everything with a grain of salt, make sure to use your brain. Don't take things as people say it, including me. Use your own mind, reflect, understand what makes good advice, and more important than just reading good advice is to execute, to build something, to change things in your life, because advice in general has no value if it doesn't lead to personal transformation.